Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Kate Good, and y'all know that I love to dig in, find good information that's going to help us all be better leasers and marketers and managers. And we have to talk about online reviews because there are some things that we may not know and understand, but lucky for us, J. Turner Research is busy day in and day out working with 67,000 properties nationwide to monitor the online reviews of those apartment communities. And they've got some great information to help us better understand what they're calling the untold story of online reviews. And so we're going to spend a few minutes right now talking to Joseph Batdorf with J. Turner Research. And I wish we could get into the entire white paper that they released in June. But what we really want you to do is think about attending a webinar that Joseph is going to be hosting on June 10th at 12 o'clock Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern, where you will get a lot of that information. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you put a white paper in front of me, I'm probably not going to read all 67 some pages of it. But if I can sit and watch an online review or watch a webinar about online reviews, I'm more likely to take in that information. So on the link for today's live on Facebook Live, you're going to see a way that you can register for this webinar. And again, that is on the 10th of October. So go ahead and register for that. Put it on your calendar because I think you're going to hear some things right now that are going to make you want to tune in to this webinar where we're going to have more information. So hello, Joseph. How are you?
Kate, thanks so much for coming over. It's great to have one of the all-stars of the industry here.
Oh, well, thank you. And it's nice that we're both in Houston, right?
Yeah, that makes it easier.
So you released this white paper in June, and it got a lot of attention from it, and you're continuing to update it. So that's what the webinar is going to be about on the 10th. Is that right?
Exactly. And what you're going to be getting from this, and this, by the way, is the white paper that she's talking about. What you're going to be getting is the latest quantitative data that we've done in the last 4 months since then. This is a dynamic white paper. We're going to be adding to it as time goes on. And so you're going to get the latest information from the last 4 months from June. Along with that, on this webinar, we're going to be talking about the 3 studies that we've done on prospects' behavior. We've surveyed 39,000 residents, conventional and student, on that. And the data's changed, and so we need to keep an eye on it. When we first started doing this 7 years ago, we were only tracking 2 sites, and as you know, Google's come in a little bit of a small way.
How many are there now?
There's 19 sites.
So you're actively monitoring 19 sites
on a monthly basis over 67,000 properties.
Wow!
Correct.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
And that's what makes our research unique. Most people can tell you how many reviews have come in on their properties. Mm-hmm. They can tell you how reviews are coming on maybe 2 or 3 of their competitors in their geographic area. But when you're tracking 67,000 sites, you get a really good idea of what's going on in the market.
Yeah, let's talk about market share with those 19 review sites. Who really owns that market share right now? What are some of the differences in the market share?
Well, there's 2 ways to measure that. One is the percentage of properties mm-hmm. that a review site is on, and the other is the percentage of reviews. Right now, at the latest information, there are 4.7 million reviews on the internet, okay? Yeah, and Google has, or I should say Apartment Ratings has 40% of those.
Wow. How many of them mentioned smell in the hallway?
I'll have to check on that. I'm going to check on that. We'll come up with that in a week. But as far as, and so Apartment Ratings has 40%, which is almost as much as their next 4 competitors of reviews.
Wow.
But if you talk about percentage of properties, Google is on 87% of the properties. Apartment Ratings is on 75% of the properties. And Facebook is on 61% of the properties. Those are the top 3.
Wow. So are all reviews created equal?
No, and that's part of the reason that we have been out doing research on prospects and how they're looking for properties. They're not. There are review sites that are more trusted. Mm-hmm. There are review sites that have more information. And it's also regional. I mean, Yelp, for example, is out very strong on the west and east coast, but not so much in middle America.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, that's something I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, let's talk a little bit about the growth of gamification in review sites. That's new for me, and it seems to be very popular, especially with our incoming renters right now who are of a younger generation and like the ability to earn points. Is it driving reviews? Is it working?
It really is.
Okay.
And so gamification involves more than just reviews. It's about getting points for certain behaviors that you do that you get prizes for. So the big home run, of course, is renewing your lease. But it is working. The average property has 78 reviews on it. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's gone up since April from 72. So you can see it's gaining around 2, a little bit less than 2 per month. But on those sites that are doing gamification, and I'm basically talking about Modern Message, they have 158 reviews per property. So you look at 78 on the average and 109 from them. The second most activity happens on properties that are allowing survey companies to feed their reviews in, because it's an automatic feed that allows more volume to come on their sites.
One question I have about gamification while you're on that subject that I've really wondered about, it used to be that people would write reviews if they were angry, if they were mad, if they wanted to get even, if they wanted to have the last word or something like that. Do you think that gamification is driving more positive reviews?
In the very beginning, Apartment Ratings was the only site, and there were a lot.
At first, we didn't like them.
Right, and that's because.
But then we learned they could help us.
They can help you. They can help you. And Apartment Ratings got lots of, kind of gripe session reviews, and so that's why we didn't like them, is because they did that. But reviews are becoming more positive, and they're becoming, there's almost a flip from them being more positive, skewed toward being more positive than they were in the past. So they are coming out better now.
I like to see that. I like things to be happy anyway,
exactly, right?
So one of the questions I have about the reviews is really what drives the customer today. How much does it impact their decision to rent at one community versus another, or even to just make the top 5 communities I'm going to go look at or call or check out? And what do they really look at in the reviews? And we know it's a big part of our marketing mix right now, but what can you tell us about the consumer's perception of that?
So, like I mentioned in the beginning, we've done 3 fairly extensive studies of prospects' behavior. And what we did basically is have the prospects, or the people who are responding to the surveys, look at different sites, Google searches. And so they saw a number of different review sites on there. And we asked them, which of these sites would you choose? 70% of the time, they chose sites that had a better online reputation, as measured by our Aura score that we've established, which basically is a way to score online reviews over all the sites and aggregating that data. So it was almost uncanny, the ability to choose sites. It's almost as if you see a map, you have your property there that has a certain online reputation, and how all the other properties are either doing better or worse, and how often they're choosing that better property time and time again. The concern that we have to have in the apartment industry is that if you have a poor online reputation, that people are not stopping by your property, and you don't know that. You don't know what you don't know. So.
Well, I think that is a really good kind of summary for what is valuable in this webinar that I am going to be attending, because I want to learn about it.
Right.
But our digital curb appeal. we're all concerned about making sure that we look good as somebody's physically driving down the street, but the search starts online today. And so we've got to have a strong digital curb appeal. I'm excited about this webinar because I know it's a big part of our marketing mix to make sure our digital curb appeal is on point. And you're going to take us through this white paper.
I am.
Share with us the untold story, the difference between star ratings and actual content from users who are residents who are providing that review, that content, how it impacts our customers and their buying decision today. And from that, as marketers and leasers, we can glean information for how we can do our job better so we get our unfair share of the traffic, right?
So next Tuesday, 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central, next Tuesday, we'll look for you.
Great, and I'm going to post the link so that you all can register for that. It'll also be in the feed for this video. And I'm going to be there, so I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
I'm a little nervous now that you're going to be there, but I'll survive.
I'm sure you'll have good PowerPoint. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.